Thank you so much, Madam. Dear colleagues, I was just counting that we have 35 colleagues here. It's about 5% of the parliament on this important topic. First of all, I know that it's so shocking to see in the media about those mass murders, about those rapings, about those crimes, what's happening in Ukraine. But what I don't understand is that we are also surprised that it is possible on 21st century. But unfortunately, it is possible. Because if you're looking at an army who's doing this, the same army did exactly the same against the women in Germany, 1945. The same army did the same against the Polish people on the 40s. And the biggest problem is that they have never ever learned that you shouldn't do war crimes. You shouldn't rape other wives. You shouldn't kill children. They have never ever learned this. So the mentality is exactly the same, and when we here in Western Europe are so shocked that it's still possible, yes, it is possible, absolutely, because there's been never ever any denazification in Russia. If they are talking about denazification, the only one who really needs this is Russia, because they are the really new Nazis who are making the war crimes against the civilians. Secondly, if we're talking about the sanctions, yes, sanctions are effective in the long term, not in the short term. The problem is that the expectation for this year is that the profit will be 321 billion euros for Russia for gas and oil. So if we're going to talk about sanctions, they have to be really effective. And of course, the problem is they're going to be very harmful also for us. But that's the price what we have to pay. And thirdly, for the end, I know that Mr. Borrell and Mr. Michel are going to have a nice lunch after this debate and a nice dinner with a good wine. But the main work, what we really have to do now here, is to convince more and more countries to give the weapons to Ukraine to fight against the aggressor. That's the main work, what we have to do here. We can discuss here with political debates about sanctions, for hours, but that's your main work, what you really have to do to convince more EU countries to give more weapons to Ukraine to fight against this Nazi army. Thank you so much.